And we are back. You were listening to the Rutten River Pursuit podcast, and we are bringing you the National Rifle Association's Great American Outdoor Show 2020. That's right, folks. It's day 3. We're heading down to the show floor. Pretty sure that we gave Mr. Brian Pikarowski the reins this time, at least to start the show off. We're going to do some hard-hitting Predator talk here in the beginning, so let's not dilly-dally anymore, folks. Let's pitter-patter, get at her. Down to the show floor we go.
We are here at the Great American Outdoor Show 2020, and I don't know if you can hear in the background, but there's a lot of noise going on. Ducks, geese, some baby cottontail maybe. So if any of the listeners that know what that sound is, we are at the Foxpro booth, and we're here with Cliff Martin, who's working the booth. So thanks for talking with us a little bit about what Foxpro does, and tell us a little bit about who they are and what type of products you have.
Yeah, we got, it's a family-owned company out of Lewistown, Pennsylvania. Most of the call, or all the calls, they're made in-house. We got U.S.-made product.
Sure.
And we got a line starting at $99 going up to now with the new added call, you're looking at $650, I think it is, somewhere in that ballpark. So you have a whole range of intermediate level calls, or like if you want to go all in, and you have, an intermediate level and the whole way up to top of the line.
Okay. So what I assume this is an all Predator company, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Predator calls. They got Predator calls, turkey calls, elk. They got the elk for the turkey diaphragms and elk.
Okay.
They got elk bugle calls as well.
So you make more than just electronic calls. You have handheld calls, diaphragm calls.
Yes. They have the mouth calls. They have the diaphragm calls and, the electronic.
I'm also looking at some scan lights, too. You guys have a line of scan lights?
They have a few of handheld, like the Fireflies, like handheld scan lights, correct. And some of them are running just one solid red, or you can buy it in either one color, red, white, green, or amber, and then the other one has all four together.
Okay.
Cool. So when I think of Foxpro, I mostly think of the recorded, electronic calling. And what I think you guys are known for is the amount of calls that you guys have for recorded. How many is it now?
As far as with the news, this past spring, summer, they added another 150 new sounds.
They just added 150
exactly.
to the already...
Yeah,
hundreds.
I think if you would get them all put, you'd probably have between 600 and 800 different sounds.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Not all predator related, but deer, turkey sounds. And,
because I believe the Foxpro Fusion, the call that I have, comes with 100 preset calls. And like you said, you can go online and download additional calls. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can add to that library that you have. That number is astronomical. Over 600 calls. That's crazy.
Yeah. If you're not finding something that works, it's probably because you're limiting your imagination.
Right. And you guys, for our listeners that never even heard it or even seen it, look it up. First of all, get online and check this product out. A lot of times you're setting up the box, for a lack of a better term, with the speaker out in front of you. You have a remote where you're hunting from in your perch with your firearm, and some have an attractant tail. It's just a variety of everything. It's just a class act job. The technology that's backing this is awesome.
Yeah, and it's not. They're proud of what they do. It's a well built. You pick a call up. They're a well built. And if for some reason they don't hold up, something happens, their customer service is incredible. Like, it's usually no questions asked, unless if you back over it, then you might have to. For the most part, it's no questions asked.
So you have a new call that just came out, I think I saw?
They have a whole new line of, you might have to pull, They have a new line of the X series calls. They have 2 of them here right now. The X Wave is not in. The one to kind of replace, or similar to the Shockwave, is not here right now. They had problems with molding issues. The company, didn't meet their expectations on what. And we have two of the calls that are in the new X series that we have 2 of them here, and the upper 3 in them, that X series is also Bluetooth capable. So you not only do you have your access to 700 some calls, you can download your own sounds and play it through your phone as well now.
Wow.
That's
so
cool.
this, you can Bluetooth capable, you can hook your phone up to
so
it, listen to whatever you want to listen to off of it. So
yeah, exactly.
Adds a little versatility to the Predator call.
There's at least 3 of the top end of them that have Bluetooth
capability.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
So you can essentially use it as a regular speaker too. Like hanging out in the backyard, you can pump some tunes through it.
Exactly.
So it's not just you can talk the wife into buying it because you're like, hey, barbecue season's coming up,
beach, whatever.
Yeah, we can still use it
out on the boat. Whatever.
Yeah, that's perfect. I love it.
And then I think the different lines of calls also has a different remote. Talk about, is it the TX1000?
Well, the TX1000, which the Shockwave and the Fusion had them as well.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about the features that remote has.
It's just, I'm trying to, it's everything's categorized, and you can, with the remote, you can control like Fox pitch. You can change the pitch of your sound. You can change. You got Fox pitch, Fox Fusion. You can run 2 sounds together.
Wow.
You got. I'm trying to think of what all the. And then with that, you got Fox data, which you can, after stands, which I usually don't take the time to do, but you can record all your information. And through that remote, you have your temperature, what temperature is outside, and barometric pressure, which some of the guys are into.
So let me see if I'm following you right. If not only do you have your weather data that you can save, you can also, like if you did a certain sequence of, say, distressed rabbit, and then you draw them in, but then you hit it with something else, like a bird sound, and that really brought them in on a line. You have that saved, like that sequence saved?
Well, you got to, not without you putting that in.
Okay.
But you can put all that in, that information, like kill time, what it responded to, barometric pressure, all that stuff, and then you can take it home and plug it into your computer and print all data out.
That's pretty cool.
That is.
That's
so I guess over
creation.
a season's time, if you did that continuously, that gives you a lot of information about what calls were effective, what was the barometric pressure, what the temperature was, what the moon phase was. So it's a little handheld data saver for your predator hunting.
If you want to take the time, and for some of your techie guys that are really into it's another thing for guys to really enjoy and make it more interesting for them.
Absolutely.
So,
that is awesome.
You can, if you had a really good night, you can kind of, hey, why did I have a really good night? Was it the barometric pressure? Was it the moon phase? What was going on that this night we knocked down 10, and that whole season you're only getting 1 or 2 on a night? Yeah, you can kind of back the science up in it. It's
one of those things. I've done that on my own to a certain extent, and you looked over it. And I still go back to, I can't kill them at home. I mean, I've had nights where everything seemed like it should line up, and you go out there, and it's like, And, I mean, some nights you go out and only kill a few, but, you won't get them.
Any advantage that you have to help you, you're going to utilize that. So that's all that is. Yep. That's great.
Perfect.
So if people can't get down here to the Sportsman Show, the Great American Outdoor Show, and look at and come to the Foxpro booth, where can they find Foxpro?
Just go to their website, foxpro.com. And that, like right now, the new sound of the new callers, some of the ones are shipping. The X-Wave they're just a few days away from.
So you have them come, they just haven't got the Foxpro yet. So go to foxpro.com. Any other social media? Instagram, Facebook, I'm sure.
They would have it. I'm not sure. Hashtag Foxpro Incorporated.
It'll come up.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
Okay, Cliff, we appreciate you. And,
thanks for taking the time to talk about Foxpro. Get down there for your predator hunter caller. Get down to Foxpro, take a look and see what some of the stuff that they have out, and give some local companies and businesses, people that really care about their products and want to make and sell a good product.
I know this past spring, summer, I got to tour the facility and it's just incredible. Like when they say it's made in the USA, like all the little components, everything, all the Yeah, the computer into it is built there. It just is pretty incredible to see that.
That's awesome. Yeah,
That's great.
That's cool.
Perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thanks, Cliff.
Hey, thank you.
Yep. All right, so here we are still at the Great American Outdoor Show 2020, and we walked into a different hall, and the first thing that popped up was these red lights scanning on the walls, and we had to stop by, and we were at the Night Eyes booth, and we're here with Joe from Night Eyes. Joe, thanks for taking a few minutes to talk with us. So,
Sure.
What is Night Eyes? Obviously, you're a Predator light company, but tell us a little bit about what you have.
Yeah, I've been predator hunting now for a little over 40 years, and
Wow.
about 2012, I got a little frustrated with some of the products that are out there, so I designed my own, and I had a company build them for me, and I designed something for my style of hunting, and they've worked very well, and I turned it into a business. And we have headlamps that we use for scanning. We have handheld scan lights for the people who don't like to wear headlamps. We run our headlamps at about 30 or 40% because they are adjustable, and you can see a coyote's eyes coming in from well over 300 yards away.
Wow.
As that coyote's coming in, he's getting conditioned to that lower intensity light. He's getting used to it.
Right.
So you keep calling with your call like an injured rabbit or something. He comes closer and closer. Now he gets about 100 yards or so. He's used to that dimmer light. Then you transition over to your brighter gun light, which you can identify the targets up to 350 yards away.
Wow.
Then you turn on the gun light, you make sure it's the target you want to shoot, and it's the predator that you want. Aim, make your kill.
Wow. So how does that work? It's gun mounted to your gun itself,
Yes.
or to the scope, or give some options?
We have a 250-yard gun light. We have a 350-yard gun light, and they attach to any scope, a regular scope. It takes about 15 to 30 seconds to put it on. Lines up with the crosshairs automatic. There's no adjusting, no focusing needed, and you're ready to go out. And just stick your headlamp on, turn it on to 30 or 40% depending on the brightness, of the moon that night.
Yeah.
And you're ready to go. You can be set within a minute. You'll be ready, be set up and ready to go hunting.
How wide is the spot at 300?
Okay,
350
the headlamp,
yards?
we use an orange peel reflector system, and that's by design. What that does is that diffuses the beam slightly so it doesn't burn their eyes, but more importantly, it pushes that light out in different directions, so it gives you a nice bright center, and as it fades out on the edges. So you're hiding behind that wall of light. It's very wide. Plus, you can pick up eyes. Even if you're scanning and a coon goes up a tree or a coyote comes up over a hill to your left or right, you'll still pick them up very, very quickly because of the way that the scan light's designed. It's designed for that purpose. Now, the gun light has a deep dish smooth reflector, and that gun light then has a tighter beam. So with that tighter beam, you're going to get more yardage, and you can not only you'll be able to see that whole predator, the body and everything.
Yeah,
looking through a 6-power, 4-power scope at well over 350 yards with our 350-yard gun light, and obviously with our 250-yard gun light, you'll be able to see them at 250 yards.
In the middle of the night.
Yeah, we sit out in the middle of an open
crazy.
cornfield, a cut cornfield, a cut bean field. That's where some people have I do seminars all over the country. They have a hard time understanding that you're able to sit out in the middle of a field with nothing around you and be able to call coyotes within 50, 60 yards from you because you're using your scan light to locate the eyes. That's the headlamp we use. Condition them to the light. They get used to that dimmer light. And more importantly, it's your camouflage. You're completely concealed from that predator. I could have you behind me doing jumping jacks. As long as you don't make any noise, that predator will continue to approach because it can't see behind that wall of light I talked about. That's why we make it wider, with the orange peel reflector system for your headlamp. We have a handheld scan light too. There are some people that don't like to run the headlamp. So it's built exactly the same way. It's got this orange peel reflector, and you're able to adjust that also.
Yeah. So I noticed that some of the lights have white light, green light, red light.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that feature.
Green's mostly for hogs. We really don't promote greens for predator hunting, but we do carry them because some people, want to use it for whatever reason. Maybe they're colorblind and they can't see the red nearly as good, and they'll see green better. But that brings up a point. A coyote's colorblind, so he doesn't see the red nearly as bright or as vivid as a green light. That's why we use red.
Yeah.
Okay. But we do have one headlamp that we promote, and it has red on one side for the hunting, and then when you go up and look for your predator and you can't find it, maybe you wounded it and it crawled off, you push a button and you got white light. You can adjust the brightness on the white as you can on the red.
Wow.
Now the white light, you'll be able to track blood trail. You'll be able to do game recovery really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we actually have a new product this year that we have headlamps that are remote control. So you can scan with them, And when that predator is coming in, you're transitioning over to your gun light. You don't have to reach up to your head anymore. You can just push a button, a wireless remote button on your head, on your gun that's right beside your other button for your gun light, and your headlamp goes off, your gun light comes on at the same time.
That's
you
awesome.
Transition over and make your shot.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. It's hand operated, I guess, a push button or a pressure switch?
Yeah, the pressure switch is, we do the one pressure switch on one side of the forearm and the other pressure switch on the other side, so you can activate your gun light, turn your headlamp off right at the same time.
All at one push of a button.
Well, two buttons, but it's one, we just squeeze them at the same time.
I get you.
So,
man, that's pretty sweet.
So how's battery life on these?
The headlamp, we run it, like I said, between 30 and 40% power, depending on the brightness of the moon, and we get about 9 hours runtime. There's not enough darkness out there to run that battery dead.
All night long,
all night. And then the gun light, I charge my gun light maybe once every 5 or 6 nights of hunting, because you're only turning it on to identify your target, make a good clean kill. So it may only be on a minute here, 30 seconds there, 2 minutes there. Deer will come into the calls. We call deer in almost every night, and you'll see some big bucks. So we'll turn on that gun light and count the antlers, and so you might have it on, but you get a good 5 nights before you got to charge it again.
What type of bulb is it? Is it LED light?
It's an LED. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We're using bright LEDs with a high intensity driver that pushes that light out and gives you the most bright light you can get. I mean, these lights are unbelievable. Now, even though our 350-yard gun light can go out to 350, most people aren't going to shoot that far. So they're brighter than you'll be able to shoot.
Yeah. This area here, South Central Pennsylvania, you'd be pressed to find a 350-yard shot.
And the point is, that's why I tell you, keep your scan light, whether you're using a headlamp or a handheld scan light, down at 30%, because they'll come in much closer. I like to get them in between 70 and 100 yards, okay? Right. Because they're a lot easier to hit at 70 yards than they are at 170.
Absolutely.
So get them in close, turn on the gun light, make your identification, make sure it's not the neighbor's dog, put the crosshairs on, and pull the trigger.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. It's a great product. It's a nice-looking product. Nice looking product.
So they're very durable. I mean, I know you don't have video, but I'll show you a real quick demonstration here of how durable our products are. Where's my gun light? My throw gun light. This is my original 200-yard gun light. We've had it for 6 years. I've actually hunted with this, killed hundreds and hundreds of predators with this light. If you can see, it's kind of banged up and it's a little bit out of shape. That's because I throw it on the table. I beat it, I throw it on the concrete, and it works every time.
Still lights up.
I have thrown this on the concrete over 200 times, have beat it off the table, and you can see I'm throwing it very hard.
Absolutely.
I've
that is
done
incredible.
Over 1,000 times.
That test speaks for itself right there.
Yep.
That's incredible. So what else? Do you have anything else new that's coming out for this year? Or,
no, our remote control headlamps are new. Our GL350 is fairly new. And, we do offer infrared lights for the people that are allowed to hunt. Our state in Pennsylvania can't hunt with infrared, but we do offer them for the states that allow that.
Yeah. So you have all those products here at your booth? We got the gun lights, you got the handheld scan lights, and the headlamp scan lights.
Yes, yep. And then we got infrared for the people that want to look at that.
Awesome.
And we do offer green for the hog hunters. We don't really recommend green, again, for the predators, but we do have that.
Yeah. Well, great. So if people can't get down here to the Great American Outdoor Show in Harrisburg, how can they find Night Eyes?
They can find us at nighteyeslights.com. They can watch. We have a television show that's going to air on the Pursuit Channel this Monday night on the 3rd at 9 p.m. We also are going to re-air that on Saturday, the 8th, at 8 p.m.
Cool. And what's the name of that
It's going to be the Pursuit Channel, USOC Adventures TV, and it will be titled Night Eyes Predator Hunting.
Awesome.
So, and these videos most of them were filmed within the last 2 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We do a triple coyote kill, so you watch
it.
Don't give it away.
Awesome. Great.
Cool.
All right. Joe,
Joe.
Thanks so much for joining us and telling us about Night Eyes.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Have a great show.
Appreciate you stopping by.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Guys, we are back, and as you can guess, we are in the fishing hall.
Oh, we're not in the current, but we're close, guys.
We could be.
We could be. We're prepared.
We could very easily get in the current here. And we are at Flycraft with Mr. Brandon. How are you doing today?
Doing great.
Yeah,
just getting started here.
You guys have something different than anything else that we've seen here at the show. All inflatable river boats plus an inflatable stand-up paddleboard. Just tell us more about Flycraft.
Yeah, so we started about 7 years ago. This is my 6th year at this show.
Okay.
We're based out of Salt Lake City, Utah, where we do our manufacturing ourselves. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, we tend to be a lot different than what else is out there. So all of our boats are super lightweight. For the last 7 years, we've been putting out what you can see is our 2-man boat over there.
Okay, and those are more of a drift style boat, right?
They are, yeah. They're a great drift boat. But you know what? We have guys throwing that Honda motor or trolling motors, and they're chasing stripers in the ocean, chasing
No
muskie
way.
and bass in lakes, small streams, big rivers. You know, you can float the Susky locally here on it. Anything you'd put a bigger boat on, but all the small water that you can't put a big boat on.
And unfortunately for our listeners, they have a great video rolling, and there's 3 guys, 3 grown men in these boats that are, 17 foot long?
This one's 14.
Oh.
And the 2-man is 12 feet.
Okay.
So what's really nice about our unique size, you'll also notice that we're significantly narrower than the average inflatable boat or any other boat you're going to find.
Yeah.
You're seeing firsthand in the videos, we're not sacrificing stability there. What we're doing is adding a lot of maneuverability and saving a ton of weight. So our 2-man boat comes in at just 98 pounds.
Okay.
Wow. Where our 3-man boat comes in at 145 pounds.
Wow.
I'm going to jump in here.
Go for it.
Do it, bud.
Don't make a splash,
The
though.
family, along with Will, we went rafting in the Upper Yock
Yeah, whitewater rafting.
this last summer. And we were in a kayak canoe hybrid, just like this, inflatable
Right.
rafts.
Yeah.
Probably duckies.
Skinnier to get through that. But also what I noticed, this is a self-bilging
Correct.
system here. And
How's that work?
Water comes in, water flows out.
Is there like a check valve in there? or
It's basically an inner tube around a flat pool mattress, if you will, for lack of a better term, a
Nailed it.
heavy-duty pool mattress with an inner tube around it.
Were you here
latched.
earlier, like getting
No.
the talking points from
that's,
Brandon?
It's,
Are you sure?
it's like one of those slap yourself in the head technologies that's been there so simple.
Right. So
Sorry to interrupt, Brandon, but
that's
I
a
wanted
great
to sell that feature that I've actually used a setup just like this, and it makes so much. If it can handle the Upper Yock, and that's like, some Class 5s, up there, man, you could fish from this platform. Definitely.
Absolutely. And, we definitely have people pushing our conservative whitewater ratings that we're putting on these boats.
Yeah.
I conservatively rate this 3-man boat to Class 3.
Yeah.
Nice.
Our 2-man boats to Class 2. Couple things we are doing different on the self-bailing. I know that this paddleboard really caught your eye.
It did.
These inflatable paddleboards, people are really surprised that an inflatable paddleboard can be as rigid as it is.
Yeah.
Our boat
I didn't know it
floors-
was inflatable.
Right.
Like, literally, I picked it up and
Well, and
I
it keeps
thought
the
was
weight
a
down.
solid piece. Yeah.
This is only 28 pounds.
Yeah.
28
Well,
pounds for this,
yeah.
the stand-up paddleboard.
A lot lighter than any kayak you can
Yeah.
have. All the benefits of a kayak, but a little bit more fun, in my opinion. So our raft floors, we're building with this same type of material. So it's called drop stitch technology. In short, it means that we can put a much higher level of air pressure, which makes it feel like a board.
Okay.
So the average self-bailing raft or inflatable kayak you go in has kind of a squishy floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
Ours
is
is rigid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't stick your thumb in
Yeah.
it. There's no,
Right.
there's no dent.
In fact, we were using that softer floor in those ducks to get our feet up underneath there to for safety when we're getting ready to hit a more. You wouldn't be able to do this with this floor
And
here.
with fishing,
You don't
which
want
is our
it.
primary purpose, we like to stand a lot.
Yeah.
Also, if you fished out of a drift boat, you know that a rigid floor gives you a much better performance benefits, whether you're dropping anchor, navigating through
Oh,
current.
yeah.
Yeah.
And when we're standing. So we have a rigid floor, and same with our paddleboard. But yeah, just 28 pounds. This whole thing rolls up, fits in a backpack that we include. And you notice on our paddleboard, we do things a little different. We have an anchor system, which you're not going to see on any other setup.
Yeah.
So it drops right off the back. We can control it with a cam cleat. And paddleboarding's always been a lot of fun. And similar idea with kayaking. But by the time you get into position where you want to be, figure out where to stash your paddle, get your rod ready. You've already floated past where you want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with our paddle board, you can now drop anchor. Your paddle goes in and out super easy.
You have a pretty cool holder there. You're not laying your paddle down on the floor or on the base of the board to where it's not going to. Yeah, it's not going to fall off.
Yeah, it's not going to flop around.
And you don't need two hands to do it.
Right.
So you can stash your paddle, grab your rod, fish. When you're ready to move on, you can pull up the anchor. Another thing worth mentioning on our board is our fins are on hinge points.
Okay.
So,
and you have tracking fins on that, which is nice.
We've all hit bottom with a skeg on a kayak or clipped our fins on a paddle board, broke our fins, or launched off the board into the water. Our fins are meant to tick bottom. You hit rocks, shallow water, no problem.
Really?
You're not going to break, and it's not going to throw you from the board. Back to the boats quickly. So with how lightweight our boats are, we really can eliminate a trailer, especially on that two-man boat, which you can mount a third seat on the back for kids. It'll fit on the roof of a Subaru fully inflated.
Yeah.
It will fit in the back of a truck. It's only 100 pounds. Wow. You lift one end at a time. You don't need anyone's help, which means it's as much of a one-man boat as a two-man boat.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that's great is, oftentimes with boats, you need to have that truck to tow it. You don't need to upgrade your vehicle for your boat. You might, I have customers that drive Corollas, and they just break the whole boat down, throw it in the trunk.
Yeah.
We have a lot of customers. I was just talking with a couple that just bought a new fifth-wheel camper. Mm-hmm. They don't want to be towing an extra boat. Even the kayaks are a little tough to figure out how to load them.
Yeah.
So now they can just break down this boat, stick it in a compartment, and any of these boats or paddle boards will do that.
Yeah, and I see all of your, the leaning post and the external frame to the drift boats, those all look like easy push pin connections.
Yeah, so we use those thumb nut fasteners.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to connect. On the three-man boat, I have it regularly bolted. You can use the same hardware featured on the two-man boat. That's quick disconnect. The seats are also on quick releases. So you just press a lever, they slide on and off in literally a matter of a couple seconds. So
how long would it take someone to set up like the three-man boat? Once you get to where you're going to go, about how long till you're fishing?
So the three-man boat, maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Really?
And that's also because we're probably not going to break it into all 11 pieces.
Right.
We might just break it into thirds. The three-man boat is a really popular option with guides. Hardcore fishermen tend to leave it together more often than not. The two-man boat, you also can certainly do that. Doesn't hurt it to leave it just like that year-round. We all have enough fish and stuff to get together each morning.
Right.
It's nice showing up with your boat ready to go, but you know what? That doesn't work for everyone. I know my personal boats are rolled up and on shelves with the frames broken down this winter to make room.
Sure.
And that two-man boat tends to be the really popular one with that RV crowd, people that live in apartments or drive cars.
Yeah.
That's what I was just thinking when you were talking through that is this is great for that fisherman who's stuck on space, doesn't have the garage, doesn't have the parking spots. You can roll this up. And, how big is the three-man boat when it's deflated?
So you can see pictures of the broken down two-man boat, actual size. And I actually have a photo here. That's me next to it. You can see I'm
like
crouched down next to it.
A big suitcase.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good way to think about it. I would say the three-man is about 50% bigger than that.
Okay.
So three-man maybe
my wife
an
takes
arm's width apart.
This is smaller than my wife's luggage for flying.
Absolutely. So. Which brings me to another point. The two-man boat is a very popular option to take as two checked bags on Narrowline.
What?
You can do one bundle like that, but to stay underweight and not pay extra baggage fees, you break that two-man boat down. We've flown with it to Alaska. We've chased peacock bass in the Amazon rainforest in Guyana with it.
Wow.
Roosterfish in Baja. You name it. So you can fly with it anywhere.
Yeah, I'm watching this video you have playing in the booth here. And there's people with really long fly rods, fly fishing off this while they're floating. There's, as far as stability is concerned,
there's a lot of gear on that boat too. There looks like 4 dry bags,
and we're leaning off the side.
That's what I wanted to get into. Is some of the accoutrements
as well. Get into it, bud.
They're literally, guys. Deke just said there's a luggage rack. It is a luggage rack.
Yeah.
Literally what you see on a back of an SUV, like plugged into the back of the trailer hitch or whatever. And this what gauge is it? Steel and
It's an aluminum.
Okay.
Yep.
Keep it light.
Keep it light. It's powder coated, so it's fine in the salt, the PVC, and the aluminum. But yeah, that gear rack's great for cooler, dry bags, whatever you want to put back there.
Okay.
And this aluminum, you can literally the two-man boat that I'm looking at right now with the hard. What are we calling this up here, guys?
The frame.
The frame, exactly. Bucky has trouble with words at times. You can mount one of those small Honda engines on there.
Yeah.
And good as gold, especially like you were saying out here in this fishery. Throw that thing on there. You're good to go. I mean, even guys like me that have a boat, this makes more sense to get in and out of that river
this is
for,
cool.
especially on lower, in lower water.
And lower
times.
water is a great point because our boats only draft about 3 inches deep in the water.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be shallower than a drift boat, even most kayaks. Plus, some of the best fisheries don't have a boat ramp, and I think that's why they're so great. Keeps a lot of people out. Can drag these down the bank.
I've been to a boat ramp in Canada that I would not put my own boat down. The guy did it, but this would have been easily, and then you're on fish.
Oh, yeah.
This is just a cool product.
We got to
Yeah,
get you
it
guys
is.
out
Yeah.
fishing in some of these.
It sounds
It's
great.
beautiful.
I could see Stevie and I in one of these.
I think Deke's set on the paddleboard.
I am.
Yeah,
I keep eyeing this paddleboard up. Yeah, I mean, you might have touched on it, but I'm still impressed that the paddleboard breaks down to pretty much a backpack,
Yep.
a large backpack.
And only 28 pounds,
28
which is even
pounds.
far lighter than any other inflatable paddleboard
Right.
out there. We just do things a little differently. And I don't know if we mentioned, but with the paddle holder and the rod holder and the anchor system, there's this tower mounted to it, an aluminum tower that's ultralight. Obviously, you're probably going to want to hook the cup holders like we have featured on the boat on here.
I'm thinking more rod holders.
More rod holders.
Yeah.
I'll clip speakers to this. This is a net holder, holds all the popular
Nice.
nets out there. You just feed it through that. So you can really rig it out. You notice the D-rings on the bottom to attach coolers.
Right.
Yes, it's called a stand-up paddleboard. Do I stand all the time? Maybe half the time.
Yeah.
I put a cooler there, which is a great place to keep your food, beverages. Sometimes I just use it as a dry box, but I use it as a bench.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is great. This is great. So, Brandon, if our listeners can't get down to the show, how can they find more information out about Flycraft?
Great question. So we have a website with all sorts of product information as well as videos, a digital magazine. It's flycraftusa.com.
Awesome.
Yep.
You
We're
guys
also
will-
on Instagram, Facebook.
Great, great. Well, I'm impressed. This looks like an awesome product. So definitely check them out.
Everybody needs to. They are
Yeah.
so versatile. You can find a use no matter who you are and what you're doing out there. If
Definitely.
you're fishing, recreation, you name it, out west, up north, down south,
Yeah,
Flycraft can do the job probably.
definitely. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it.
Great
Thank you,
meeting you
Brandon.
guys.
Okay, guys, we are back, and Brian practically had to pull me from staying away from this booth earlier, and now we are here. We are at Dixie Decoys, and we are with Mr. Josh. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Hi, Josh.
So, Josh, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about Dixie Decoys?
All right, Dixie Decoys is a veteran-owned company out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We make high-density polyurethane foam decoys. We just released a brand new decoy out today on the 1st of February it's called the Gen G decoy with a Durabo head. The Durabo head is actually, it's still foam, but it's still a flexible head, so if you drop it, it tends to rebound itself, so it doesn't break the bill. And the decoys themselves, like I said, are high-density polyurethane foam. The new ones have a suction body on the bottom, suction pockets on the bottom, totally integrated keel. The cool thing about them is that the decoy itself now has the primer actually put into the foam. So
Wow.
it takes a lot of the prep work out of it. It's pretty much all you have to do when you get them, home from Dixie Decoys. There's going to be a waxy coating on them. And what that is that's the mold release agent that they use. And then all you have to do is you stick them in the sink or dishwasher, pretty warm, as hot water as you can get.
Yep.
Industrial Dawn is what we recommend, and then you use like an SOS pad, and you scrub it out, get all that waxy coating off. Once you get it off, you're good to paint it.
Wow. So that's the cool thing about these decoys is you can, if you are interested, a lot of waterfowlers want to like come back to the heritage of the cork decoys and carve your own decoys, but not a lot of people have the time or skill to be carvers. So you kind of cut out that and let guys dabble in it with painting themselves.
Exactly.
So you can have that custom decoy, your home built decoy, but half the steps already gone. And you're there just to paint it then.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's
and these things are sweet looking. If you wouldn't know that they are a poly.
They look
decoy.
hand-carved.
Absolutely. I mean, they look like they have the ridges and the groove marks of the carving. What type of paint is recommended when you do apply your
We recommend using Parker's oil base. It's a marine grade enamel.
Okay.
We actually partnered with them, and they actually have a lot of custom colors that they created for Dixie Decoys themselves. And if you go on our website, you go underneath the Dixie Decoys part, and there's actually a how-to section. We have all the paint codes for Parker's paints on there. It gives you. We also sell the paint kits on our website. You can use latex. The only thing with latex, it tends to not hold as well as the oil-based enamel, so you have to clear coat them. But I know I use a lot of latex. I use Parker's too. It all depends on what the customers want.
So say you order a half dozen wood ducks. Okay, You go on your website, and they're going to give you the codes for each paint you need.
Yeah.
And do they even kind of, a wood duck has a little bit more going on with it with colors.
We have pictures of it and everything step by step on how to do it. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. That's a great way to get into the handmade decoy arena.
And they're very simple. I mean, you can take them. You can take the basic pattern and you can pretty much put as much detail or as little detail as you want into it.
Right.
I use them. I do a very basic old style gunning decoy pattern, and I kill a lot of ducks off them.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the way they ride. I love how they and you can shoot them and shoot them and shoot them, and they're never going to sink because they're high density polyurethane foam.
And so it truly is a custom decoy.
Yeah.
Custom decoy.
And now,
and your mind's the imagination. You can modify them with epoxy sculpt and wood. I turned one of our Scoters of our last gens into a King Eider before.
Wow.
Just by adding epoxy sculpt and basswood and everything, and it turned out really cool.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
It's a great thing for the kids too. I mean, we're real traditional based. We're trying to get, the old school heritage back into the sport, and for people that are trying to get their young ones involved, like I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. Okay, my 4-year-old paints decoys with me now. They're multicolored, polka dotted, purple. Not ones I'm going to stick in the spread, but I stick those up in the mantle all the time. And he enjoys sitting beside me with just his basic paint, just going to town on them while Daddy's painting the rest of them.
I mean, looking around your booth, and these are your products. They look like the old school mantle collector type decoys.
Yeah.
I mean, you almost want to pick up and look at the name on the bottom to see who it might have been. Type carving. That's what's incredible about your product. It's just very neat. It adds an aspect. A lot of outdoorsmen love the other aspects to keep the tradition alive from past generations, which would be the old cork decoys, keeping that alive, and also that you're able to stay in the season, out of season.
Exactly.
So waterfowl season pretty much just ended for East Coast. I mean, there's a little bit of stuff going on yet, but soon we're going to be you got to check your decoy rigs. What needs fixed for next year? Do I need to paint my other ones? Or am I building a new spread?
It's a 365-day-a-year sport if you really take it seriously, and this gives you the capability to be able to do that.
Yeah. So Dixie Decoys is a veteran-owned company. Mm-hmm. All your products are made in the U.S.
Yes.
Right? Anything else I'm missing?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Anything on the horizon? I mean, this is a new product coming out today. Anything else going on?
Right now, we are planning on coming out with some more heads, different species, stuff like that. We only have 3 heads available right now. We have the puddler body, we have the puddler head, which could be, I would use it for a mallard, a pintail, or a gadwall even.
Okay.
You could do that with the heads we have now. The diver heads, we have the one diver body, then we have the bluebill/redhead head, which is what's on this one you're looking at right now. And then we also have the canvas back. Okay. Now there are a lot of things on the horizon that we're playing with, trying to get right, maybe possibly coming out with some sea ducks, and everything that we had in the last year's model.
Okay. And not only, you guys have a great social media presence. That's how I know about you guys. You have some pretty cool swag. I mean, you guys
Yeah, this is
your
a nice
T-shirts
booth.
looking good. Your
Nice
hats look good. So a lot of stuff going on here. What booth are you at? What number?
3712.
3712. You just walk through. Look at the booth has all these decoys that, like I said earlier, look like mantelpieces, and great T-shirts and hats. Where can our listeners find you on the internet?
Our website is www.dixiedecoys.com. We also have a Facebook page, Dixie Decoys, and then we also have a sister off-branch page called Gunning Decoys.
Okay.
And there's a lot of big-name carvers on there, and like Pat Gregory, Robert Gould, Michael Braun, guys that have their stuff in museums. I mean, absolutely phenomenal artists.
Yeah.
And we have a website, or that Facebook page, you can actually go on. They're all on it. I'm one of the admins, and we will help you learn how to paint. And everyone there is just to help you keep the heritage alive. I know I started carving my own because of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm dabbling into carving cork now too. So, and it's a great information site. So definitely check it out.
And you guys are on Instagram?
We're on Instagram too, yeah.
What's your handle on Instagram?
It's Dixie Decoys.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dixie Decoys,
so
everywhere you
definitely
go.
check them out. Check out their website. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram. It's a great follow. And order yourself
Awesome
some decoys and get painting in the off season.
Yep.
Hey, thank you,
All right.
Josh.
Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it. Day 3 in the books. We're not even halfway through the show, man. This thing is cranking. We're seeing a lot of old friends, making a whole bunch of new ones. I'll tell you what, if you guys have not yet done so, please make sure you go check us out on Instagram and Facebook. We are really stepping up the game this year with our video content. And speaking of our video content, I would like to take a moment to give a couple quick shout-outs. Our good buddy Mike Miller was helping us out. You can find Mike Miller at MikeMiller_outdoor. And he is also the owner of at 83 Media. That's EIGHTTHREE Media. So 83 Media. And, of course, Mike's got his cousin Jordan McCall out here helping us too. And Jordan can be found at McCall Media. Those guys have been killing it, helping us out with our video content, just chasing us around the show. And we're a tough group to keep up with, I'm not going to lie. And those guys have been doing a great job keeping up with us. So just want to say thanks again to those guys. If you get a chance, hop on Instagram, get over there, check out their content. It's pretty amazing stuff that they're putting out. As always, you can find us at RuttenRiverPursuits.com. On Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, just search Rutten River Pursuits. Don't forget to check out them YouTubes, Rutten River Pursuit Podcast, and, of course, podcast itself, always available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Boom. And as Bucky would love to say every time, Arrigo Muelas. Boom.